I'm drowning in a sea of negativity as the Republicans weigh in on it. I mean, this is like, we can talk about it, but it's dead. It's dead on arrival. They're not going to get this thing through. Like, nobody seems to like it. It's like this one collection of senators that was told to go talk. They came up with something. You know, Stephen Miller, Trump's immigration guy, is all over Twitter today, or X, saying absolutely not, saying it's effective amnesty. Josh Hawley, senator from Missouri, saying it basically legalizes child exploitation. We could go on with the many, many problems, but one of the main things is it invests all sorts of discretionary authority in Mayorkas to just kind of grant asylum. He can kind of just do it if he thinks it ought to be done with his magic wand, is how it sounds. And there's not much anybody can do about it, which is effective amnesty. I don't know how much time we should spend on it because it's DOA. Kmele, what are your thoughts?
I incline to agree with you. Certainly a piece of legislation that you take all of this time crafting and developing in back rooms only to have it arrive in a circumstance that makes it seem as though this isn't going to go anywhere is pretty frustrating. And the thing I keep thinking about as I've been contemplating this morning is how we got here. You know, we've had consecutive presidential administrations who insisted they were going to take care of this problem, that they were going to fix immigration. I remember Barack Obama in particular coming into office, having both houses of Congress, promising he was going to address this issue. And it's extraordinary just how broken the system is at this point. There's the actual infrastructure along the border, but there's also, you know, just the policy framework, the actual process for allowing people to come into the country legally. I mean, it is all a complete shambles. And it's pretty frustrating to imagine that we have what at this point is an undeniable crisis on the southern border that is having real ramifications in American cities and in the American people's lives, like, every single day. And there just doesn't seem to be any real appetite to resolving it.
No, there isn't. Even Biden's appetite, if it exists, and as is politically motivated by the fact that this has become a number one issue, or at least a number two, among Democrats. So he's got to look like he cares. But I am convinced that no matter what, even if he were to shut down the border entirely and implement all Trump policies tomorrow, which he could, but he won't, they're still not going to buy it. Because at this point, we're so close to the end. The Democrats know, too, he doesn't care. He likes open borders.
Yeah, I mean, I really agree with Kmele that this is a problem that has been administration after administration after administration. I would even push it back beyond Obama. Think about the first real revolt before the Tea Party, before the Trump populist revolt, was against George W. Bush for pushing comprehensive immigration reform. You know, this issue comes to the top of every poll, not just now. You're pointing out that it's coming to the top even for Democrats, but this issue consistently, decade after decade, comes to the top of every issue poll, usually just behind the economy or maybe some other issue that's bubbling up at that particular moment. But the immigration is consistent because it's something that people interact with on a daily basis, especially in the border states, but now really across the country. And it's sort of orthogonal to our politics in that it doesn't take up nearly as much space in our debates day to day. So that for that reason, I'm really glad to see the spotlight, coming on this issue, even though it comes at the expense of a crisis in this case. But it really is the result of decades of mismanagement. Yes, our asylum law needs to be reformed. No, Biden doesn't need special powers granted by this bill to close the border. But furthermore, we have the Flores settlement. We have, the courts entangled in this issue. We have decades and decades and decades of it basically being better for the political class not to address this issue. When Americans are telling them, all the way back since Ross Perot, this is a problem. So, I really think this political gambit to start sending migrants to the blue cities, I don't like it. It's down the street from me now. I'm not saying it's bad for me personally, but I think it has been the most politically successful gambit, and I think it's probably responsible for that poll that you just cited, as people actually 100%. Interacting with this problem in the same way Texas, Arizona, and all the border states have had to for decades.
Yeah, it was truly one of the most brilliant moves. If they did like the Time Magazine Year of the Move, political move of the year, this would have to be it. I mean, it's really made people feel the crisis in an acute way. And before it was just Texas's problem. Oh, well, just Texas is going to have to deal with it. And now it's, no, you're going to deal with it. Your kids are going to miss school. They're going to get kicked out. Migrants and crime is coming to a neighborhood near you. And on it goes. Sorting through your expense tracking, estimated payments, and all those deductions is overwhelming. It might lead to a failure to file or failure to pay penalties that pile up on your tax debt. Here's an idea. The attorneys at Tax Network USA have been lifesavers for many. Their team has successfully saved clients over $1 billion in tax debts. Whether you're in the hole for 10 grand or staring at a $10 million debt, they are ready to help. Even if you haven't filed in 1, 5, or 10 years, the expert attorneys and tax pros at Tax Network USA are equipped to secure the best settlement for you and to help you resolve all tax cases no matter how they started. Go to tnusa.com/Megyn, tnusa.com/Megyn, or call 1-800-245-6000. Contact them now as these tax debt relief programs are expected to change. tnusa.com/Megyn, or call 1-800-245-6000 and tell them Megyn Kelly sent you. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.